I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. Isaiah chapter 32. King Messiah shall reign in righteousness. The land of Israel shall be a wilderness until the day of restoration and gathering. I also want to mention that this video does have a Joseph Smith translation in it. What the Joseph Smith translation is, this is an inspired translation or correction of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that had been lost over the years. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices, to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. But the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. Okay, a couple of things here. The new king, this is obviously Christ again, the king. And he is the hiding from the wind, covert from the tempest, rivers in a dry place, water to the thirsty, and shade to those who are being, who are in the heat. In verse 5, the vile person will no more be called liberal or noble, is an alternate Hebrew translation. The churl is the miser, and he will no longer be called bountiful, meaning wealthy. So the man who hoards money will no longer be considered to be a wealthy man. But the righteous will be wealthy. There will be among those who follow the king, who follow his counsel. They will have understanding. Their eyes will not be dim. Their ears will hearken, and they will have understanding. So the wealth of knowledge and wisdom is what will be treasured when Christ reigns as king. Verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city, because the palaces shall be forsaken. The multitude of the city shall be left, and the forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks, until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest. Then judgment shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the fruitful field. And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effort of righteousness quietness and assurance forever. And my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation, and in sure dwellings, and in quiet resting places, when it shall hail, coming down on the forest, and the city shall be low in the low place. Blessed are ye that sow beside all waters, that send forth thither the feet of the ox and the ass. So, okay, the careless daughters. This is those who are overconfident and self-secure in their own ways. They're the ones that are going to suffer the most because they're not prepared for the tribulations coming. Now, this talks largely about the time after the early church, back in the days of the first apostles, the primitive church, when it fell into apostasy. Eventually the Jews who rejected Christ were driven out of the promised land, and it became desolate. The palaces were forsaken or deserted. Forts and towers were left for the dens of animals, and it was just it wasn't destroyed. It was just overgrown, briars, brambles, all this stuff, because there was nobody there to tend it. But in the last days, people will return. The Jews, the Israel will return, and they will start tending the land, and it will become prosperous. Now that last one there was verse 19, when it shall hail, coming down on the forest and the city. Coming down on the forest, and the city shall be low in a low place. The footnote here says that the forest and city are probably symbolic of the proud and the wicked, meaning that this verse is talking about the destruction of the wicked at the second coming again. So the place is deserted, it is overgrown, but overrun by wild animals. Eventually, Israel is gathered again to their land of promise. They again tend the land, make it prosperous, and then comes the destruction of the wicked, or while at the same time as the destruction of the wicked. Possibly just after the destruction of the wicked is when we get this. So it's around the same time. Now, before I sign off, there is this one Joseph Smith translation here. And this is in verse 14. So again, the King James says, because the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the cities shall be left. The forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks. Now we got this correction. Because the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the houses shall be desolate. The forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks. So now the way it is stated in the King James, it says the multitude of the city shall be left. That would indicate that the main population of the city will remain in the city. But with Joseph Smith's correction here, it is clear that all the houses will be desolate and deserted. So it does give us this clarification.